everyone, and welcome back to Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, where we are about to start Chapter 3 of Snake Tales Confidential Legacy, which is based in the tanker, so that should be fun. The wind howled as the rain beat down in torrential sheets upon the churning, undulating surface of the river. A single lonely rubber boat painted jet black was being tossed back and forth upon the waves like the plaything of some capricious river god. Snake lifted his face to peer over the edge of the boat. Over the din of the storm he could hear the sound of helicopters. At length, he saw 3 black choppers approach the tanker in front of him. "Am I late?" muttered Snake to himself. 3 days earlier, Campbell had visited Snake at his home in Alaska. Unlike Snake, who'd gone back into retirement after the Shadow Moses incident, Campbell had gotten himself a position at the Defense Intelligence Agency. Snake had known right away that Campbell wasn't there to rekindle old ties with his former comrade. After making some brief small talk, Campbell had jumped straight to the point. "Do you remember a man by the name of Sergei Galukovich?" Snake nodded. A former GRU colonel, Galukovich was known as a ruthless, cold-blooded strategist. During the Cold War, when Campbell was the commander of Foxhound, Galukovich had humiliated him on numerous occasions. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, he had organised a group of former Red Army soldiers into his own personal mercenary army. Since then, Galukovich and his troops had drifted from one war zone to the next, selling their services to the highest bidder. We received a report that Galukovich and his men attacked a group of Marines who were on a secret mission in the South American Republic of Eldora. The Marines are being tight-lipped about it, as usual. They'd rather keep a lid on the whole affair. But from what we've been able to tell, it sounds like Metal Gear is involved. "Metal Gear?" Snake growled. He'd heard rumours too. Following the Shadow Moses incident, the technical specs for Metal Gear had been leaked onto the black market. As a result, bastardised versions of Metal Gear were starting to crop up all over the world. Eldora was a small country in South America that had happened to be engaged in civil war. Since the 1980s, the country had been under the control of a pro-American dictatorial regime. But as the Cold War drew to a close and the American influence in the region declined, the country's minority ethnic population had taken up arms against the government, calling for the establishment of a separate homeland. The country had been torn apart by civil war ever since. Mercenaries and armed merchants were constantly coming and going in and out of Eldora. Given those circumstances, Campbell had figured it wouldn't be too surprising if one side or the other had managed to get their hands on a new type of Metal Gear. It seemed that some people still clung to the belief that the threat of nuclear war could bring stability to the region. "And the Marines were still there to try and destroy it?" asked Snake. "No, it looks like they were trying to seize it for themselves. There's still a lot we don't know about the true nature of the new Metal Gear. This would have been a good chance to pick up a lot of valuable information." In other words, Eldora had managed to get itself a new type of Metal Gear. The Marines were plotting to seize it, and Galukovich was planning to steal it from the Marines. And now Campbell was proposing to go after Galukovich. Snake shook his head. "Sorry, but you'd have to find someone else to do your dirty work this time. I'm out of the hero business." "Snake, times are changing, Colonel. I think it's about time you give it a rest." "You mean retire from the military?" "No, I mean it's time to stop this damn vendetta of yours against Galukovich." The look of fury on Campbell's face confirmed Snake's suspicions. Campbell still hated Galukovich with a passion. It was an old grudge left over from the Cold War. The passage of time had done nothing to diminish it. Rather, it had grown in intensity. "Is that why you joined the DIA? To settle old scores?" "Yes, you're right. But I didn't come all the way here to ask for your help just for the sake of personal grudge." Campbell's hand clenched into a fist. "The truth is, Merrill was a part of that mission." The rubber boat drew close alongside the tanker. Snake gripped the rope tightly. Merrill Silverberg, Campbell's niece, the woman who had risked her life alongside Snake on Shadow Moses. At one time they'd been living together, then 6 months earlier Meryl had left him. She said there was something important that she had to take care of. Her voice was resolute. Her eyes were clear and cold as steel. There was nothing Snake could do to stop her. Snake climbed the rope up the outer hull of the tanker and emerged onto the aft deck. Nearby he could see a number of soldiers standing guard. They appeared to be Russian mercenaries. He called Campbell on the codec. "This is Snake. I've managed to infiltrate the tanker. It looks like our Russian friends have already taken control of the ship. I'll try to get in touch with Meryl somehow." Right, let's go, Snake. Pew pew pew! Pew pew pew! Ow! No! Nothing's happening, nothing at all. Sorry guys, I'm in just one of those moods today. Do I need the medicine? No, okay. You're imagining things, buddy. Run, Snake! Run, Snake! It's no one. It's no one. It's nothing. Stay down, dude. It'll be better for all of us if you do.
Huh? What was that just now?
Come on then.
I need some help here.
No, you don't. Stay down.
I need some help here.
No, you don't. Stay down, dude.
I'm under enemy fire. Secure the perimeter.
Understood. All units exercise extreme caution.
It's no one! Okay, it didn't go as I hoped it would, but I'll take it. Well, hello, Miss Silverberg. Meryl lowered her gun. "What are you doing here?" "I just wanted to see you," answered Snake. "You think you're funny?" "Actually, I was only half joking. My uncle sent you, didn't he?" Snake nodded. He explained that Campbell had gotten word of Glukovich's attack. "You've got a lot of nerve coming here," Meryl snapped. "Look who's talking," Snake shot back. "What? Sneaking into another country under the guise of a military operation when all you're really after is the Metal Gear? Who's got a lot of nerve coming here?" His voice took on a condemnatory tone. Is this that? Oh, is this that important that you had to take care of? You wouldn't understand, Merrill turned away. Someone like you, who could happily spend the rest of his life taking care of sled dogs day after day, you could never understand. I was only trying to live my life free of hatred. No, you just didn't want to face up to reality, that's all. Society, your past, even me. Is that why you left? No, that's not it. But the look in Merrill's eyes told Snake that it might as well have been. A deep silence fell between them. 6 months of separation had created a cold, empty gap that was difficult to fill. At last, Merrill broke the silence. My father, he died here, in this country, she murmured. Matt Campbell. Merrill's father and Campbell's younger brother had been a DIA agent. Snake had heard that he disappeared during a mission when Merrill was very young. I wanted to see for myself what my father saw. Merrill's eyes drifted over to the window, but the only sight was of the storm raging outside. She suddenly turned back to Snake and held him firmly in her gaze. Snake, please, just get out of here. This is my battlefield. I don't need anyone from outside to get involved in this. It's a little too late for that. I'm already involved. Nothing can change your mind? Nothing, Snake said firmly. Merrill sighed in expiration. Snake pretended not to notice. Now, tell me what our situation is. This mission was supposed to be top secret, right? So how did Galukovich find out about it? That's what I would like to know too. You think there's a leak? I doubt it, but seeing as how you all know about it, then I suppose anyone might know about it. Snake thought for a minute. Merrill was right. Anyone might know, but whatever the case might be, they had to stop Galukovich from getting his hands on the Metal Gear. Where is the Metal Gear? In the cargo hold. Alright, I'll go check it out. Merrill cut him off. I'm not about to take orders from you. We'll split up and go our own separate ways. If you're planning on heading for the cargo hold, then you need me to do something about the boxes that are blocking the first deck stairway. Before Snake could stop her, Merrill had left the bridge. Go, we quickly save. And let's go. Okay, so it looks like Merrill is really not happy about the fact that we're here. Which is understandable in a way, but right now there's not much we can really do about it. So we're just going to have to carry on with our mission, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up with her later. Okay, Snake, we're going to have to be careful around here, because we know that there are a lot of guards floating about. And there is definitely one here, because I can hear the heartbeat. Peekaboo! Peekaboo! There he is. Oh, he doesn't come all the way up, that's good. Take him out nice and quick. Stay down, dude. Believe me, it's better all round if you do. Easy. Easy. That's it. Wait for that guy. There is a dude right there. That's okay. Take him down. Try not to go head first down the stairs. But we're still alive, so it's fine. Hey, Raven. What's that? Night vision goggles. Lovely. I don't think they're going to help very much, but, you know, whatever. Right. Easy now, Snake. I see him. No. I'm not that brave. You're not going to come all the way around here. Oh, you are, aren't you? Oh, okay, maybe not. I didn't mean to throw him over the edge, but... Whatever works! Whatever works. I'll take it. Ooh, PSG 1. Very snazzy. There's a guy right around that corner, isn't there? He's up there. Okay.
I'm under enemy fire. Secure the perimeter.
Understood. All units exercise extreme caution.
Don't worry yourself. It's nothing. You're imagining things. Ooh, M9. Now we're talking. Come on, dude, I need you to leave. PSG one bullets. Are you literally going to be hanging around by those stairs? No, stand up, Snake. There we go. Can I... Is there anyone up there? I don't know. Alright, they're there. Okay, fine. Go. Ooh.
Stay sharp.
Ooh! Wow, there's a lot of goodies in this one, isn't there? Right. So, we... One. Are you going to be in the same places as you was before? Two. How close can I get? Okay, I think that's pretty much as close as we're going to get here, isn't it? Right, careful, Snake. You are so close to that Semtex, dude. Did we get it? Yes, we did it! Oh, I was really sorry. Rest in peace, headphone users. I was quite worried about that. Okay. Feel like I'm walking around in a coffin here. But I don't even need the IAP sensor along here. At least we have a rifle. Ooh! There's so many cool items in this level. I mean, I don't know, maybe we could get them in all the other chapters, like the other two we've done so far, but I don't remember seeing anything. Careful now, Snake. We don't know what kind of crap these people are gonna pull on us. Alright, in the clear so far. Red light! Red light! Green light! Okay, fair enough. In the pitch darkness of the corridor, something moved in front of Snake's line of vision. Reacting quickly, Snake dove into the shadows of a nearby crate. There was a flash of light. Snake heard the sound of a gunshot. A bullet whizzed past his head, igniting sparks as it ricocheted off the wall behind him. It was a trap. No time to think about the particulars, though. There was at least 5 enemy soldiers against him. He could hear the sounds of guns being readied. Snake drew his USP. Oh dear. Let's save. And, okay. Oh, no. We are going to do this the nice way. Wow, this is sensitive. So like I say, I don't have to kill them anymore, so I won't. Not unless I have to. Oh, we're out of bullets. That'll do it, won't it? Come on, dude, drop. Believe it or not, I actually don't want to hurt you, but I will if I have to. Like, I would really rather not. Are you gonna drop? There we go. Any more of you? Alright. No, get up, Snake. What are you doing? Alright then. You didn't exactly give me much of a choice there, did you? Snake peered down the corridor. No hail of bullets came to greet him this time. The coast was clear. He pressed forward past the bodies of the fallen enemy soldiers and entered the cargo hold. The cargo hold was dominated by a massive shape covered by a tarp. There was no mistaking it. It was a Metal Gear, the ultimate weapon of the 21st century. Sensing the place to be deserted, Snake approached the Metal Gear. Its immense shadow loomed over him. He peeked under the tarp, but what he found was nothing more than a decrepit shell. The armour plating was speckled with rust. The body was covered with a thick layer of dust. The old, badly outdated acculator was a crisscross roadmap of tiny cracks. It looked as if it hadn't been used in over 10 years. Do not look so disgusted. A voice suddenly sounded behind Snake's back. What you see before you is a magnificent legacy of hatred left to me by my distinguished predecessor. You really should treat it with more respect. Snake turned round in time to see Sergei Galukovich emerge from the shadow of a pillar. "Drop your weapon," said Galukovich. "Make me," Snake retorted. Galukovich dragged another figure out from behind the pillar. It was Meryl. He drew her closer and jabbed his gun against her throat. Snake watched as the barrel slowly traced the contours of her slender, white neck and brushed gently against the corner of her mouth. He threw down his gun. "A wise choice," said Galukovich. "All right, Galukovich, let her go." Merrill shook off Galukovich's grasp. Galukovich pointed his gun at Snake. He regarded Merrill with a leer. Suddenly Snake realised what was going on. Merrill was working with Galukovich! What? Meaning? So you were the leak. Merrill was silent, confirming Snake's fears. But why? What if I told you that it was my father's dying wish? Merrill looked pleadingly at Snake. I'll ask you one more time. Please leave this place. I can't do that. Galukovich cocked the hammer of his gun. Then I'll just have to get rid of you. He pulled the trigger. No! Merrill grabbed Galukovich's hand from the side. The bullet went astray, striking the ground between Snake's feet. We had a deal. You promised you wouldn't kill him. As the two continued to argue, Snake retrieved his USP and made his escape. As he ran, he heard the sound of Galukovich shouting angrily at his men. Kill him! Snake heard Merrill trying to stop him, but he didn't turn back. His only thought was to escape as quickly as possible. Oh, it's all heating up now! Right, don't think, just shoot. Don't think, just shoot. Don't think, just shoot. Don't think, just shoot. Or kick the guy in the face, one or the other. Coming through! Well, that didn't go well. Shit. Get out my way, dickbag! I'm glad that's over. That was an absolute bloodbath, man. Snake closed the watertight door behind him and turned the handle to lock it. That should buy me some time, he thought. In the meantime, there was something he had to check on. He called Campbell on the codec and described what had happened. Merrill and Galukovich? Campbell's voice quivered. Merrill said something about her father's dying wish. What the hell was your brother doing in this country anyway? Campbell explained. During the Cold War, while the country was under control of the pro-American dictator, the American military had been conducting a top-secret project in Eldora. Matt Campbell had been a member of that project. When the Cold War ended, the project was terminated as well, and the Americans had prepared to withdraw from the country. Matt, however, went AWOL. Shortly afterward, the pro-American regime, having lost its backing, was faced with armed uprisings among the country's minority groups. Eldora was plunged into civil war. Matt's corpse was discovered later. Spetsnaz had been behind the uprising, and the name of their commander was Sergei Galukovich. Some say that Matt was actually collaborating with Galukovich, but I don't believe it for a minute. Campbell's words made it sound as if he believed that Galukovich himself had killed Matt. Is that why you've been so obsessed with Galukovich for all this time? Asked Snake. Yes, admitted Campbell. He hated Galukovich. Hatred spawned hatred in kind. You were involved in the project too? No, there's a rule against that. We're forbidden to take part in any operation involving family members. They say it compromises your judgment. Is that all? I guess Matt wanted to put some distance between us at the time. Campbell's voice was tingled with regret, but he ventured no explanation as to the reason behind his brother's actions. The antique Metal Gear you saw is the end result of that project. That's all I know. The whole thing is highly confidential. Even now, the records are all sealed. I believe it, thought Snake to himself. After all, it's only natural for people to try and forget horrible things that happened in the past. Governments were no exception. But some people held on to these kinds of memories. Some people never forgot their hate, like Galukovich and Campbell. Snake, we can't let Galukovich and his men escape with that Metal Gear, said Campbell. It could still be armed with live nuclear warheads. They're probably planning to test the Metal Gear's capabilities somewhere out at sea. You've got to change the course of the ship. Head for the bridge. Snake had no objections. Right, let's do this. We're bleeding out everywhere. We desperately need a ration. Or a bandage. Or something to stop us bleeding out all over the place. There's not much we can do about that right now, though. At least now we have the tranquilizer gun, we have more of a chance to handle this situation. Snake, I know, I'm sorry, you're bleeding out all over the floor, dude. There isn't anything I can do about it at the moment. Well,
Who's there?
no one. How is Snake still standing after that kind of blood loss? It's alright, buddy. There's got to be something around here. Guess not. Alright, so we're just gonna have to be extra super duper careful. Drop. Thank you. Snake, how are you still alive right now, bro? You're bleeding out everywhere! Oh god, that made me jump. Come on, come back. I'm starting to sweat again now.
What's going on? Respond. Trouble at deck C. Check it immediately.
The situation is normal. All clear.
Oh no, they spotted my blood! Crap! Run, Snake! Run, dude! Crap! Well, I tell you what though, we made it quite far before we actually snuffed it. I'm very proud of myself for that. And we got some of our life back now as well, which is even better. Just gotta make sure, haven't you? Right. Snake made his way to the ship's bridge. Outside the window beyond the storm, he could see the figure of Meryl. He opened the watertight door and stepped into the navigation room. Meryl turned around. "You're late. Were you waiting for me?" "There's no one to interrupt us here. I need to tell you something." "You mean like the reason why you're helping the man who killed your father?" "Is that what my uncle told you?" Snake nodded. Meryl shook her head. "He was lying," Meryl explained. "Matt Campbell's part in the top secret Metal Gear development project in Eldora, I know I've probably butchered that name this entire playthrough, but never mind, I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me, had been to ensure the country's stability. Part of his job was feeding falsified information to the minority separatist guerrillas, and he was good at it. First, he'd pick a suitable candidate. Next, he'd find his target's weak point and use it to blackmail him. Then he'd dangle a carrot in front of the victim's eyes and convince him to cooperate. Matt would then send his now willing accomplice into the ranks of the separatist Once there, the spy provided the Americans with useful information, selling out his comrades in the process, but in carrying out his mission, Matt made one fatal error. In his dealings with the Sapralala, he came to sympathise with their cause. He became enriched with the idea of independence. He grew to resent the US for the way it exploited smaller, weaker nations for its own gain. In the end, Matt decided to help the guerrillas create their own nation. He wanted to give them the trump card they needed to secure their independence. And what better gift than a bipedal, nuclear-capable walking tank that was conveniently being developed in Elderia. One or the other, I'm so sorry. Albeit secretly and quite illegally, by the American military. Sergei Galukovich, who was also supporting the guerrillas, agreed to cooperate. Matt's plan was executed. The guerrillas succeeded in stealing the Metal Gear from the American base, but then their plan was discovered. Matt was executed by the Americans. Meryl's father had been punished for the crime of believing in his own ideals. The price of having a conscience was high in those troubled times. In the tumult, there's a lot of words here that I can't read, either that or I'm blind today, of the civil war that followed, the Metal Gear disappeared without a trace. However, 6 months ago, its existence was reconfirmed, and the Marines had been sent to recover their long-lost dirty secret. After hearing the true story from Galukovich, Meryl agreed to follow his instructions and infiltrate the Marines. Her intent was to transfer the Metal Gear over to the guerrillas through Galukovich, who was still providing support to the rebels. In this way, she could carry on her father's memory and the ideals for which he died. Interesting. Is that what Galukovich told you? Asked Snake. Meryl nodded. Snake shook his head. Did it ever occur to you that he might be lying? Meryl looked at Snake with sorrow in her eyes. You're not going to let me get away, are you? So what were you going to do? Meryl drew her gun and pointed it at Snake. You're not going to shoot me, said Snake. She released the safety with her thumb. Watch me. I cannot believe that out of all the people we could be fighting right now, we are fighting Meryl. I mean, how crazy is that? Don't worry, I'm not going to hurt her. Not unless I have to, of course. Come on, Meryl, you don't want to do this. I guess maybe you do. Gotcha. I'm sorry, Meryl. You didn't exactly give me much of a choice, though. Snake watched as Meryl crumpled to the ground. He rushed to her side and cradled her in his arms. Fortunately, she'd only been temporarily knocked out. He clasped her tightly to his chest. Do not trouble yourself over it. said a voice behind Snake's back. It was Galukovich. He held a pistol in his hand. Why are you using Meryl? Snake demanded, fighting to control his anger. Using her? I merely told her what she wanted to know. I don't think so. A slight smile crossed Glukovich's face. It was the smile of a master strategist, a smile that told of lies, manipulation, and betrayal. Perhaps I did embellish the truth a bit. After all, people will believe what they want to believe. Is this your idea of revenge on the Colonel? Of course. He deserved to suffer. I will make him squirm in agony until his pain is as great as the suffering of all those men that I had to bury, and all of the widows and orphans they left behind. Galukovich hated Campbell. Campbell hated Galukovich. Hatred spawned hatred in kind. That is why I chose her. She's not the most important. Is she not the most important person in Campbell's life? I heard this from Matt as he lay dying. So it was you that killed Matt. Galukovich's eyes darkened for an instant. I see my reputation precedes me. I simply gave him that in which he desired. He was only waiting for someone to kill him. That's the kind of man he was. For a moment it almost looked as if Galukovich were truly grieving the loss of an old friend. Perhaps his grief was real. But the look soon passed. I will not hand the Metal Gear over to the Eldering guerrillas. My men and I have other plans for it. The machine itself may be a wreck, but all we really need to do is recover the nuclear warheads and the launching system. A nuclear-equipped ballistic missile is still a precious commodity, even in this day and age. Snake gritted his teeth. Galukovich laughed. Do not be so angry with me. This is Matt Campbell's dying wish. This was his intention from the beginning. What do you mean? If you do not believe me, then ask him yourself. Galukovich aimed his gun at Snake's head. In hell! The sound of a gunshot ripped through the air. Galukovich fell to the ground. The shot had come from Meryl. Meryl staggered painfully to her feet and turned back to Snake. The rain beat down upon her ragged frame. Meryl, please, just don't say anything. Her shoulders were trembling. Snake wondered if she was crying. The tanker and the Metal Gear it was carrying were recovered by US forces. Meryl, meanwhile, found herself the subject of military inquiry. Several days later, Snake ran into Campbell whilst visiting Meryl at the detention centre. According to Campbell, the military had conducted a full investigation on the recovered Metal Gear. It was judged to be a complete failure. Little more than scrap metal. The nuclear warheads, too, were nothing but cheap imitations. Whether or not Matt had been aware of this was unclear. There were no records left, and Campbell added it was his fault that Matt had betrayed his country. What? Snake exclaimed. Matt hated me. And not just me, either. He hated his wife too, and Meryl. What are you trying to say? Meryl is my daughter. Snake was thunderstruck. He stared at Campbell in utter disbelief. So you and your brother's wife? Campbell nodded. I knew what I did was unforgivable, but I thought she... He hung his head. Did Matt know about it? He sensed that something was up. That's why he went to Eldora alone, to get away from us, and that's where Galukovich found him. The first rule of intelligence gathering was to find your opponent's weak point, dig up the ghosts of his past, rub salt into his old wounds, then pretend to sympathise. Gain his trust, steal his heart, and then he would be yours to control. In Matt, Galukovich had found the perfect target. Does Meryl know about this? No, but I was about to tell her. With that, Campbell turned and started walking towards the visiting room. As Snake watched him recede into the distance, he thought to himself, it would take time for Meryl to accept the truth about what had happened. He wasn't even sure whether or not she'd ever acknowledge Campbell as her father. But it would be enough for Snake if one day the two could smile at each other once again. There wasn't any room in the world for any more hatred. We did it! We did it! We beat Confidential Legacy! It was a brilliant story, really enjoyed that one. I gotta say, there were quite a few deaths in this as well, but, you know, whatever, we can get past that because I enjoyed it. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will be back with the 4th chapter of Snake Tales, Dead Man Whispers, which I'm pretty sure I'll get to face Vamp again, I think. But either way, looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.